Chewbacca was a Wookiee warrior, a smuggler and a resistance fighter who fought in the Clone Wars, the Galactic Civil War and the conflict between the First Order and the Resistance. During the rule of Galactic Empire, Chewbacca became a smuggler and a co-pilot of Captain Han Solo aboard the Millennium Falcon. That's right, Chewie. Today we are reviewing you, Chewbacca, from the 40th anniversary Star Wars line. So this is one of the other characters that I got from buying from that bundle from Star Action Toys. I don't know if it's still available. I got it way before Christmas. But anyway, here he is, looking pretty dapper. And this is the Chewbacca that I've actually ultimately wanted. Chewbacca is my favouriteest character out the whole entire Star Wars franchise line. And the New Hope original trilogy Chewbacca is definitely a must, and this is the first one that comes with a bowcaster. And yeah, I can't wait to get him out of the box and do some posing with him. I know Chewbacca's articulation from all the other ones that we always had is not that great, but I'll do some comparison shots with him and the others. I might even bring the other Chewbaccas onto screen and we can just have them all stand by each other. But yeah, it's the original Chewbacca, you know, like you can't go wrong with him. It's actually got that nice flip back hair. It's not the Solo version. It's not the caught in carbonate sort of version that I got, you know, from the Empire Strikes Back with his, got that weird sort of quiff going over his eyebrows. This is the proper Chewbacca. Unfortunately, he is doing a roar, but you know, that's Chewbacca at his most angriness. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, looking at the box, yeah, it's recreated of that original 1970s 80s kind of look. We've got the chaser ring around the outside, we've got the 40th anniversary up here, we've got that kind of poster-esque kind of like A New Hope there with Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker. We've got the old Kenner down there, which is a nice nod, and on the back we've got all the other ones that are in that kind of line. We've got the chaser around, loads of all gobbledygook and all that down here. But yeah, so let's get this guy out of the box. So without further ado, let's crack this bad Wookiee open. Okay, so here he is in his blister pack. I mean, it's not exactly leaving much to the imagination. It's kind of what you saw him on the card. But getting him out of this kind of blister pack, you just see the figure straight away. And he looks pretty cool. He's just standing there. And he's got his bowcaster to assemble. But we'll take him out, we'll have our first impressions. I'll take away, do some photos, put him through his paces, and then come back for an actual thorough review with the pictures at the end. So without ado, let's have a quick look. He's actually trapped in there. Got those horrible elastic bandy things. So yeah, here he is, looking pretty nasty and angry. He feels a little bit different. It feels like his skin's a lot, well, his fur is a lot thicker than the other Chewbaccas. It feels more plasticky than that sort of overall vinyl kind of feel. It actually feels like it's actually made of plastic, this one. So it'd be nice to see what kind of sort of articulation he has, to see if it's not hindered anymore. So yeah, I'll take him away, take some pictures, and we'll see you in a mo. Hello, so welcome back. So I've been away, taken some photos with Chewie, and yeah, I must admit, actually this is my favourite Chewbacca figure out of the three that I have. So and I can tell you why as we go on with that actually. And at last, yes, I have Chewie with a bowcaster, although it does come at a price, unfortunately. And I'll get right into that right now, to be honest. So yeah, it is a bowcaster. You have to assemble it. It does come in two parts. So which is this part here, that you have to actually physically add on. So it's just the front part of the bowcaster, and you just need to plug it onto this tiny little plug part here at the front and pull it on there. But unfortunately, because it's such a small little thing that it doesn't pop through, I'm probably going to have to glue it, because I've had him on the shelf and sometimes it just shoots off just randomly. And also we've got this scope on the part here, and me trying to get it into his hands, that does fall off as well. So it is a little bit fiddly, so I'm going to have to get a bit of the old cement glue and pull it all into place really. But I do love it. It is a great bowcaster, and just the paintwork and all that on there. So what I'll do, just pop his hands out, and while it's in there you can see him holding it, and you can stand there. So yeah, as you can see, it's got like a nice little gunmetal grey all over it. It's done in a black plastic, but it's done really rugged and really battered, and actually it's probably one of the best sort of weathering effects I've ever seen on a Black Series gun, to be honest, which is done in a nice kind of sort of hard plastic as well. So it is pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit fiddly, and it does fall off quite easily, especially trying to put it on Chewie. But you can take that part off, and you could easily take that part off, and if you've got an extra one of these, you've got a whole new sort of like a customised bowcaster gun for maybe just a standard, I don't know, custom that you want to create at home. So it's pretty cool. Obviously his other accessories that he has is his kind of bandolier, but to me that is part of Chewie. I wouldn't say it's an accessory, so I'll pull it through as part of the sculpt, to be honest. But nonetheless, it's just the same as what all the others come with. So we can look at his articulation, and unfortunately it isn't great, but it is the best that I have out of all the Chewies. So again, we don't have much movement up in the head. We can't look down, and he doesn't really look up much either. So in his arms, we can come right up here. We've got a rotation at the shoulder, and then we've got the rotation at the elbow, and his elbow actually comes up a lot more than what the others do, and that comes really pretty much up to the 90 degrees. And also his hand, we've got the rotation and we've got a pivot as well, and actually he's got probably the most movement out of all my Chewies there in the wrist. I think it's just a part of this, like this is actually more of a harder plastic. It actually feels more of the sculpt, when as this one here, it actually feels like there's a plastic joint in there and they've surrounded it in a vinyl plastic to go over the top, and it just sort of feels a bit more rugged. It's a bit longer and everything there as well. So here we've got the rotation just here. You can't really sort of bend much, and you can't really look up, but you know, we have a bit of a rotation there. We've got another smaller rotation a little bit lower down, which is down here, so we can get a sort of like a double movement out of him if you so wish, which the other like Chewbaccas don't have. So he can kick up this much, he can go back this far. His knee, on the other hand, is a lot better than the other Chewies, which comes right up there, and actually just I've got a tiny bit more movement as well in the foot. Not as much, but there is a rocker and there's a pivot. It's not as much movement as the others, but it is still, in all, a bit more better movement. And I can't remember if I said, yeah, I've got the upper thigh rotation there. But yeah, he's pretty cool. And then we go into his sculpt as well. I mean, it is Chewie. Finally, I have a Chewie that gives off that Chewie look. It is a sort of snarling Chewie, and I think the Force Awakens one is a standard looking Chewie, so again, I can't wait to get that one as well. The colour as well is just a little bit nicer. It's a darker brown. You've got the darker browns on the top that's blending in, and it just all blends down into the darkers as well, into his fur. And it's pretty much what we've seen before. We've got his little tootsies. We've got his handbag with the leather look on there, just a bit rustic. We've got the sort of like buckles and all that, and then we've got all the ammo pouches and all that up here. I just wish that they kind of maybe just glue it into place, because it is annoying that it just slides off his shoulder and stuff. You know, it is part, it shouldn't really be made to be removed. It is Chewbacca, you know, so it'd be nice to just to have that sort of just stuck on there really, so it just doesn't move. But yeah, from the back, you know, with that, they don't really skimp out too much on the paint app. It does just sort of stop here and just look a bit too brown, but you know, it is Chewie, and I think he's probably the best one out there, and he's pretty cool. I think if you're buying this Chewbacca on his own, I think he normally retails about £30, but if that Star Action Toys deal's still going, then he's, you know, it is a good sort of buy really, because you kind of get a few in there for a smaller amount of money. But just comparing, so this is the Solo Chewbacca, obviously from the Solo movie, and there is a slight smaller, you know, they do look a little bit smaller than the other Chewie. It's hard to kind of say which one is better. I mean, just standing hit the Sith Trooper on the side there. Did they both look too tall? I don't know, maybe, but it just seems weird. I mean, obviously his head's a lot taller, so we can actually say that his head is probably tilt back, because obviously he's got the nice, that sort of growling kind of look at him. And then obviously this is the Chewbacca from the Amazon exclusive with a C-3PO, and again, like the body wise, all up the shoulders at the right height, but the head's just not as tall. But on the shelf, once you like crooked his knees a little bit, put him into a gun action pose, you're not really going to see any height difference on there, and he's still definitely my favourite Chewie out of the lot. So guys, this has been my Chewbacca from the 40th anniversary edition. What would you say? What is your favourite Chewie here? Would you say it's Empire, Solo, or the original trilogy? Well, A New Hope. But so guys, you can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me down below, you can subscribe, and all that fang doobly doos that goes with the channel. So guys, thank you again for your support, and I'll see you next time. Bye!